everyone. Welcome to episode 31 of the Just One In podcast. My name is Elizabeth Zimmerman, but you can call me Liz. I'm coming to you from Cochranville, Pennsylvania, where I live with my husband, Greg, our two children, Eric and Tilda, and our cat, Sunspot. It is Tuesday, May 14th. You can find me on Instagram as Just One In podcast. You can find me on Ravelry as Algebrina. And I recorded an episode last night and scrapped it without even looking at it because it felt so rough and I was going to have to do so much editing to make it like coherent. So I decided today I was just going to scrap it and record another one. However, I need to leave it for the airport in like 5 hours. I'm done packing, pretty much. I have to throw a couple things in still, but I'm basically just gonna go to sleep, wake up, and drive to the airport. So I don't have a lot of time to edit this one. So it also may be a little rough, but hopefully it's going to be smoother than what it would have been if I'd stuck with what I recorded yesterday. So we'll see. Maybe this one will never make it up either, but we're gonna try. Okay, so let me tell you what's been going on since my last podcast. I podcasted a little over 2 weeks ago now, so I'm almost back on my every other week schedule. Maryland Sheep and Wool was last week and a half ago, and I went down. I went down on Friday for Needles Up. I took the day off work. I unfortunately spent all day running errands though, so I didn't actually get down there until the last hour of Needles Up. So I got there well after a lot of other people had already been there, which was fine as far as, merchandise and what the vendors had wise. It was just I didn't run into very many people who went much earlier. I did run into Helen and Mary Beth, who are the Crafty Toads, in the parking lot. So I ran into them on my way in. And then, of course, Sue and Paige and Allison from Daisy Lane Designs, they were vending, so I was really going to see them anyway. So I got to hang out for the last hour. I did pick a couple things up. I'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, so that was Friday. And then I was staying down in the area, which I'd never done before. I'm from Maryland, so it's usually, it's like an hour and a bit to get down there from my hometown. It's a little further for me now. But I don't usually go down and stay for the weekend. So I did this year. I stayed at Turf Valley, which is a very nice resort. It was a beautiful place to stay. I crashed with Paige and the girls from Cocktail Hour at the Coop, Liz and Leanne. We had a ton of fun. We went out to dinner at the hotel restaurant on Saturday, and it was really, really good. So great restaurant as well as a great hotel. On Saturday, my sister came down. It's a annual tradition for us now for 3 years running, I think, that she goes with me to the Maryland Sheep and Wool. That's my older sister, Mindy. So she came down, she picked me up from the hotel, and we drove over. I think we got there at like 10:30. So we weren't trying to get there right as the gates opened. We just kind of took our time and got there eventually. And then, shopped around, got to see some friends who were vending there, the Crafty Toads. It was their first year. My friends at Flying Fibers, they always vend, and it was fun to stop by and see them. A couple other people got to see. So that was a lot of fun. I did pick up some stuff. Again, I will show you later. And then there was the podcaster meetup, which was a ton of fun. I didn't capture hardly any video. I think I probably have like a pan of the crowd kind of video, which I'm probably putting in here. But if you want to see some interaction with people at the podcaster meetup, I think, I haven't actually watched the episode yet, but I think if you check out the Cocktail Hour at the Coop, I know they took a lot of video with people and chatted with them. So I will be checking that out. So you should check that out too. And then after the podcast meetup, we pretty much just left. I think, we were done what we came there for. Mindy hung out, had dinner with us. And then she headed home and I stayed one more night. with the intention of going back on Sunday. But then I woke up on Sunday, and it was gross. As anybody who was down there knows, it was pouring rain. It was just unpleasant. So, so I decided to just go home instead. If I'd thought about it a little bit longer, then I would have thought to make an appearance at the Knot House, which had a lot of pop-ups that weekend. But I didn't think about that until I got home. So, so I didn't do that. Probably next year, though. I think that would be a good idea to go down, for the festival on Saturday and then do the Knot House on Sunday. Because I'm pretty sure they were doing stuff all weekend. So, yeah, I was kind of done at the festival anyway. Like, I'd bought everything that I wanted to on Saturday, so I didn't really have any reason to go back. So, yeah, so that's what I did. And then that meant when I got home on Sunday, I got to just, like, take a nap and relax and, do some crafting. I can't remember if I used anything that I bought that day. I did pretty soon after, but probably not that day. Anyway, so that was Maryland Sheep and Wool. This past weekend was Mother's Day. Blah, blah, blah. My mouth is getting away from me. This past weekend was Mother's Day. My family, we do family dinner all the time. I've talked about that. But for Mother's Day, the guys are in charge. So they planned it, they executed it, and the ladies didn't have to do anything, which was nice. So that was nice. And then yesterday was my birthday. So my birthday is always around Mother's Day because I was actually born on Mother's Day. I was born on a Sunday at like 5 a.m. So happy Mother's Day to my mom. So my birthday is always around Mother's Day. So it was yesterday. I had to work because I am actually taking the next 5 business days off of work coming up. So I couldn't also take off my birthday. But I did take a lunch break and get my nails done because I'm going to Camp Woolslayer this week. That's why I'm leaving for the airport in 5 hours. And so I decided... I may have to edit this part because it's going to take a lot of focus. There we go. I decided to ask for a little ball of yarn with some knitting needles sticking out of it, which she was happy to do. I mean, it's not the greatest ball of yarn in the world, but I thought it was cute. So it was something fun to do for camp this week. So I did that, and then we went out to dinner at this place called the Whip Tavern, which is an English-style pub, like 10-15 minutes from us that we hardly ever go to. So it was nice to go out for the night. And that's really it. That's all that's been going on. As I said, though, upcoming Camp Woolslayers is this weekend. So I'm flying out tomorrow morning, tomorrow being Wednesday. And then I am road tripping it down with Sally and Alan on Thursday. And then camp goes through Sunday, and then we'll road trip back home or back up, and then I will go home on Monday. So, and then I have Tuesday off work because work requires me to take 1 5-day chunk of time off per year. Like I have more vacation time than that, but they say you can't just like scatter your days throughout the year. You need at least 1 solid week. So even if it carries over a weekend. So that's what I did. So I get Tuesday off that I'm just gonna recover from the my vacation. So, so I'll head back to work on Wednesday. But the immediate future is bright. So I'm really excited and really looking forward to it. Okay, so that's what's been going on. Let me get into some crafty, nitty content. And then, this will probably be short. Hopefully it'll be short because, like I said, I don't have any editing time. So, first of all, it is May. And I have decided to participate in Stitch Mania, which is, depending on how you interpret it, it could be 31 starts of a cross stitch or needlework or something project during May, or working on stitching every day. Some people are doing whips. Some people aren't starting, some people are mixing it. They're starting or working on whips. I am planning on doing starts. If only because with my Animal Advent calendar, or Animal Advent, I don't think it's calendar, Animal Advent projects that I'm working on, that's 25 right there. And I'd only done 4. So, so I knew 21 of my 31 starts could be those. So I went ahead and decided to do it. I have fallen behind a little bit. I think I'm 2 days behind currently. I'm not too bad about catching up. I'll usually catch up and then fall behind a day or two. I'm not being super strict about it. Honestly, if I get all 25 of my Advent animals started, I'll be happy. I have started 2 other stitching projects so far on perforated paper. This is one of them. It's also got a new needle minder that I picked up but it says, I speak fluently in movie quotes. I have a couple more that I'll show you in a sec. So the perforated paper, this is the first time I've stitched on this. It's interesting. I started both of my perforated paper projects while I was at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So I stitched a tiny, tiny little bit, just enough to count for the day. And then I put it down. And this probably won't get picked up for a while because really my animal advent is what I want to be focusing on anyway. But yeah, so Stitch Mania, most of my starts have been my animal advent. And before I dig into it, let me show you. This is a stitching bag that I got from the Crafty Toads, from their Toad Hollow company, from their booth at Maryland Sheep and Wool. So it's got cats on it. It's actually knit, like it's meant to look like knitting, but it's so tiny that it also really almost looks like cross stitch, even though it's not X's. So it's a perfect bag for a cross stitch project. So that's what I'm keeping my animal advent fabric in. I already showed you all the flosses in its stitch bow carrier. But this, I've already showed you this last time, I think, the 4 animals that I've already done. So the other things that I've done is just starting the border. So just the red and white all around. And I have started quite a few of them. I don't know if they're actually going to show up very well. I think I've got up to number 14 started. So that's 10 starts. I don't know where it is. One of these is number 14. That's 10 starts just on my animal advent, and then 2 on the perforated paper. So that's 12, and today's the 14th. So yeah, I'm only 2 days behind. Not terrible. This is completely uneven. I am fully aware of that. I am not trying to make them even. I'm just trying to give enough space around them that I can cut them apart and finish them, because they're all going to be finished separately. But I am making good progress there. This is one of the projects that I'm going to take with me to Camp Wool Slayers for certain. I haven't decided on everything else yet. It's all sitting there stacked and waiting to see what I can fit into my 1 suitcase that I'm bringing and 1 backpack for the weekend. So we'll see what I end up bringing. So that is my stitching that I'm doing for Stitch Mania. The other whips that I have are knitting whips. Hang on, let me put my Q-snap back in. There we go. Okay, so I don't know where to put anything. Just throw it on the ground. The other whips are knitting. Oh, I forgot to mention, I do have a finished object. However, I can't show it to you because it's a test knit. I probably could, because I think it's actually being released in the next day or 2. And I just put up my finished object pictures today on the project page, but I'm not for sure certain that I can talk about it yet, so I'm going to save that one for next time. I will tell you it's a shawl. It's called the Cloudsdale shawl. If it has been released by the time this comes out, then you can search for it. So, so you can see my project and the finished object pictures that I took. But otherwise, I'll talk about it and I'll show it next week or next episode, which will not be next week because I do not do that. But the other works in progress I'm working on. This is a sweater. Doesn't it look like a sweater? It is the very start of a sweater. This is the Brunswick tee. I have cast on and worked You know, a lot of the short rows for the shaping. You can see this is the shortest part here, and this is the longest part over here. That's a good couple of inches. I have a lot of work left to do on it. I have never done a fingering weight sweater before, so we will see if it is just killing me by the end. But it is a short sleeve sweater. It's a tee. It's a baby doll sweater, I think she called it, baby doll style. So yeah, it's really cute. I'm excited to have the sweater because I don't have any that are like a lighter sweater. Everything I have is very, you could wear it in the dead of winter, or at least on a crisp fall day. I don't have any that would be like a spring, possibly even into summer sweater. I am dropping stitches. Phew, saved them. Yeah, but this is, like I said, it's the Brunswick tee. The yarn is from Toad Hollow. This was one of my Maryland Sheep and Wool purchases. I went to their booth intending to get a kit from them to do this pattern because they are doing a knit along. So, so I got the kit that they actually set aside for me because I told them it was the one I wanted, which was so nice of them to do that. This color it's kind of like a peachy color with just little speckles. I'll zoom in so you can see this because I have other stuff I want to show you too here. Yeah, so it's a peachy color with some spots. There's like green and yellow, and I want to say there's like red. I can't remember. But yeah, there's some light speckling. I mean, it's not heavily speckled. And then the bottom part of it is going to be green. One of my other purchases here is Wee Ones stitch markers. So I got some Barnyard Animal collection. This one is a cow. This one is a pig, and he's just sitting on his little haunches, which is the cutest thing. This one is a chicken, and Mindy actually picked up some chicken earrings from her too, which was fun. And then this one is a little sheep. There we go. So those are another purchase from Maryland Sheep and Wool. But I was talking about the yarn. The yarn is, it's Sock Toad is the base. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. This color is Sarah Crew, which I realized after I Googled it is a Little Princess reference. And then the green, which I thought I had. Aha, I do have. I'm not going to lean too far. The green that I have to go on the bottom is Mr. Carrisford, which is also a Little Princess reference. So this is the green. It's going to go on the bottom. So the most of the sweater is that in the body, and then there's like a bottom part. That's the green. So yeah, so I'm excited about that. That's going to be a great project to have. I'm really looking forward to having the end product there. Okay, and then I think that's it about the Brunswick tee. So that is that work in progress. And then also my last work in progress is another test knit, but this one I did reach out to the designer and I asked if I could talk about it, and she said yes. So, so let me show you this. First of all, let me show you the yarn. I'm using Ivy Sock from Holly and Ivy Dye Works. I got it off of Etsy. This is a kind of like a silvery gray. I mean, not silvery shiny, but you know, silvery tone-wise gray, and then a red with a lot of different, you know, darker and lighter tones to it. This one is called Black Cherry. I don't remember if I said it. This one's called Shiver. So these two together are my 2-color shawl that I'm knitting, which is Tangly Yarn, which is, there we go, this shawl. There we go. You see that really cool twisting edge along the top and the bottom? Isn't that the coolest thing ever? That's what sucked me in. I saw this and I was like, that is really, really neat. So I wanted to test knit it. Which the test knit is due tomorrow. Fortunately, it has a flexible deadline. So, but this is going to be my travel knitting, and I'm going to work on it till it's done at Camp Slayers this weekend. So, yeah. So it is a 2-color shawl. Obviously, it is designed by Kino Knits, who is Mary. It is going to be released on May 25th, I believe. Hang on. I have notes. Let me confirm. Yes, May 25th. It's called the Questions and Answers Shawl. It is part of her Chekhov collection. So she has 3 shawls that she is releasing as a collection. The first one is already out. It's called the Chaika shawl. It's a 1-color shawl. This is the 2-color shawl in the collection, the Questions and Answers. And then there is a 3-color shawl that she is going to release in mid-June. I don't remember the exact date, but I think she tells you in the collection. And I don't remember what it's called either, but I'm pretty sure she tells you what it's called too. So it's the Chekhov collection. She also wanted me to tell you that if you want to buy the collection now through June 23rd, you can buy it for $5. It's on sale for $5 if you use the promo code CHERRY, which I'll put down here. But she also said that she would give me a copy to give away. So I decided, my birthday was yesterday, I'm going to do a birthday giveaway and give away her pattern, or her pattern collection, which includes this awesome shawl. So for the giveaway, I wanted to do a prompt. I'll just give you a question, and you can put your comment down below in the comments on YouTube, which is the only place I post, so I don't know why I need to even clarify that. But yeah, so the prompt is, when you buy yarn at a yarn store or a festival or any sort of yarn buying opportunity, what is your yarn buying philosophy or style? Do you go in with a plan of you say, okay, here's what I want, and you get just that? Do you have like a specific project in mind, or do you just browse and pick up whatever catches your fancy? Or do you do something else that I haven't thought of? So whatever you do, let me know in the comments below. I will pick a winner before I record the next podcast episode. It'll probably be 2 weeks, so it's kind of open-ended whenever this ends. Whoever has commented when I record next, which will not be sooner than 2 weeks, will be eligible, and then I'll pick a winner from that. So, oh, and then I'm going to do a bonus entry. If you also answer, how many projects do you think I'm bringing with me to Texas? Because I am notorious for bringing a ridiculous number of projects. Everywhere. Anywhere that I go, I bring multiple projects because you never know what you're going to be in the mood to work on. And this is a long trip. I mean, I'm gone Wednesday through Monday, and I've got travel knitting in there between a road trip and flights. I've got a lot of traveling. So I need projects to work on. So what is your guess of how many projects I take with me to Texas? And I don't know the answer yet because, like I said, they're all kind of waiting for me to see what will actually fit in. You don't have to be right. You'll get an entry for just guessing, but I will let you know in my next episode too how many projects I ended up bringing with me. Okay, so that's all the knitty stuff that I'm working on and stitchy stuff. It's all of the giveaway information. I did want to show you just a couple of things that I did pick up while I was in Maryland, and then we're going to call it good, and I'm going to stick this thing in the computer and hopefully get it posted and then go to sleep. So along with the stitch marker that I bought, the I Speak Fluently in Movie Quotes, that one's actually an enamel stitch marker. I'm pointing to it like you can see it. It's right here. These ones are from the same maker. It's Mad for Minders on Etsy. But these ones are wooden. So these are like little wood blocks with pictures on them, and they've got big magnet backers. So this one is the Book of Mormon musical playbill, which is one of my favorite shows. This one is Golden Girls, which is again one of my favorite shows, and anyway, and then this one is When in Doubt, Put a Bird on It, which is a Portlandia reference. I'm trying to swallow on that word. So those are the needle minders I picked up. You notice they aren't in use yet because most of my starts are one project. It's all those animal advents, and I don't need a needle minder for each one. But I did pick those up. I've also actually started turning my Just One In pins, the little square pins that I give out when I go places. I've started turning a couple of those into needle minders. I just bought a bunch of magnets. I made a bunch to take with me to Texas, actually. So I'll start using some of those because, you know, they're little square and magnetic, so they're perfect. That was obviously not a Maryland purchase since I got it off of Etsy, but it was a recent purchase, so I thought I'd tell you about that. And then when I went to Maryland, when I went to Needles Up, that was the first place I went. I did pick up a couple of things. First of all, I picked up a Fat Squirrel bag. I love Amy Beth's bags. This is the smallest bag I've ever gotten from her. It's still gigantic, but I have 2 sweater size bags from her, and even though they're both occupied right now, I decided I didn't need another sweater size bag. So I got this size. I love her bags. They're sturdy and they're just really pretty. She's got some great fabric choices. So I picked that up. Yarn wise, I got some Legacy Fiber Arts sock sets. This one is Unicorn Hugs, and this one is Tiptoe. And they're both steel toes, so they're 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon with a little 20-gram mini. And I love this one with the green and the pink with pops of green in it. And this one's fun too. I mean, I love them both, but this one's my favorite. so I got that. And then I also picked up some body balms, hand and body balm from Tuft Woolens. I normally get chapstick when I go to Needles Up because now I've gone Maryland last year and Rhinebeck last year. But I have plenty of chapstick left still, so so I didn't need any more. Although I love, love, love their vanilla espresso chapstick. So if you have that, if you're ever at a Tuft Woolen event or can get your hands on it, it's fantastic. But yeah, I picked up the tiny little deodorant bar looking things of the hand and body balm. This one is sage and blackberry, and this one is lavender apple. And lavender is not a scent that I gravitate toward. It's not one of my favorites. But the apple is much stronger. And you honestly, like, it's definitely not straight apple. There's obviously something else, but it doesn't smell a lot like lavender. It's just a really great combination of whatever scents they are. Yeah, and I think I already said this one's sage and blackberry, which is also so good. I love these things. They're super easy to throw into a project bag or my purse or anything. So I love them. Okay, so that was all I picked up at Needles Up, I'm pretty sure. And then I went to Maryland Sheep and Wool. I got the yarn and the stitching bag from the Toad Hollow ladies. I also got, you know what? No. I didn't want to edit, so I'm not going to look it up. I got the Wee One stitch markers I showed you. And I also got this thing, which if you've never heard of it, looks kind of interesting. But it's called a Nostepin. Nostepinne, I think. I may spell that wrong. It is for hand winding balls of yarn. It looks like it might be for something else, but it is for hand winding yarn. It is fantastic for hand winding yarn. This is a ball that I've made out of it. It's very uniform and lovely. Normally I'm a thumb winder Because, well, no, normally I'm a Swift and ball winder, which is right over there, and I use it all the time. But if I am not at home or am winding just a tiny little bit or winding off of something other than, a hank that can go on the umbrella Swift, then I will thumb wind. However, I cut off the circulation in my thumb. So even though I've gotten a lot better about like loosening the wraps to begin with, I don't cut it off at that point. It's as I'm twisting it, it just always seems to catch and like twist tighter and tighter around my thumb. So I decided it was time to get, I'm just going to call it a stick. So I got the stick for winding my yarn. And I think that's actually it. I did actually get about 3 sweaters quantities of yarn recently. Oh no, I already showed you the one from Flying Fibers last time, I think. So the other 2 are from Webs, from yarn.com. And I mean, it's nothing particularly exciting, but when I start the sweaters that they're intended for, which I will be starting as soon as I clear my needles of some things, then that I'll show you that, but you don't really need to see it right now. So I think that is everything. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, pop this into the computer, and hopefully post it tonight. We'll see. But thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye. Right, I'm recording. I forgot. Okay.